This episode has been sponsored by Erica Acosta from Modern Images, located in Harlingen, Texas, at 2305 East Harrison. Erica is a color specialist and Brazilian blowout certified. If you would like to set up an appointment, give her a call at 956 241 1973. Now back to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Music and Beyond. I'm Ernie Crazy Eyes from Primitive Minds and Recall Productions. Today, I have a special guest, Daniel from the band FAROOQ from Fresno, California. How's it going, man?
It's good, man. I'm out here just trying to adjust to the weather changing already.
Is it gonna get hotter or is it gonna get colder?
It's gonna get cold now.
Wow, cold weather in California.
I mean, cold for me, you
Uh,
know.
what's the coldest it's gone out there?
In Fresno, overnight it'll get like below freezing in the winter,
Oh
you
wow.
know, but like not constantly, but it will freeze here and there. It will get below 30. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Like
I didn't. I honestly thought that it would never get that cold in California.
in Fresno, it's a different world over here, man.
Yeah.
Like
I honestly thought like going to like Vegas and California and New Mexico is like going to the devil's armpits or something.
I mean, in the summertime, yeah, dude. Like
That's crazy.
Uh, it'll get here in this city. It'll get over hundreds in the summertime, and in the wintertime, it will freeze every once in a while. It snowed a couple of times, not
Yeah,
often, but it will here and there. So yeah,
that's crazy.
that's we're on our way to that here.
And how's the pandemic treating you guys? Have you guys been able to, get together or maybe play like a virtual show or something?
Yeah, we actually put together one near the beginning of it. Like in March, we did a show called the Socially Distant Show
Uh,
with some of our local band friends and artists, and we put that together with the help of our buddies in Perception, which is a local band out here, a local like metalcore band,
oh nice.
and they're really tech savvy, dope dudes. So with the help of them and one of our photography friends from Cat Eye View, we put together a show that we should be uploading to like YouTube and all that soon, but I think it's still on Facebook
Yeah.
via Afterlife Promotions, their Facebook page. But when the pandemic hit, we were playing two shows in early March, and it was when like people were aware of it but not really understanding the severity of it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So we played our two shows in early March, and then by mid-March, everything was shut down. I was canceling shows. Like from the beginning of March, I was asking the guys, "Hey, are you comfortable playing? There's this pandemic thing. I don't know much about it, but if you guys aren't comfortable playing, I'll cancel the shows." And they were like, "Yeah, we don't know either, but we're cool." But then, like, yeah, in mid March, we dropped a lot of shows. And when it happened, we decided to start writing an album. So,
Ooh, nice. And
yeah.
honestly, like, I mean, I'm gonna get to it. I don't want to get too ahead, but I heard the three albums that you have available right now. I think it's three because every time that I go into the app to look for your to look for your music, I always get like these weird things. Like I know there's one that's called like, damn it, I can't even like not the static, but something else.
The Faction?
There you go, the faction. And then there's like other like different albums like on Apple Music and then on Spotify. And I'm just like, man, like I'm not gonna listen to these things because this is probably gonna be terrible and it's probably gonna give my Apple Music or Spotify a virus.
Oh, you're talking about the ones that are like Arabic music and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's because our name is Farouk. I guess there's a couple of artists named Farouk that
yeah,
have their own ethnic music.
yeah. And where I mean, maybe I know, but you know, how did you guys decide on the name Farouk for the band?
Um, the three core members, the original members, are myself, our drummer Eric, and our guitarist Phil, and we all grew up watching pro wrestling in the 90s.
Yeah.
So we wanted we decided that like a wrestling themed name would be kind of cool because I don't know, like we just kind of wanted to tip our hat to our similarities in music are one thing, but we also grew up very similar,
Yeah.
us three. So we went through a bunch of different names and weren't really able to agree on one or really think that one was better than the other until Eric said, "Yo, FAROOQ," and we all got quiet. And he's sitting behind the drum set in my living room, like I still remember it, you know. And we all got quiet and we're like, "That does sound really cool," you know. So
If you,
we looked at different spellings for it, and the spelling that we went with for this one actually, like in a dialect, means discerning the truth from falsehood.
oh, okay.
So like that kind of went with my lyric themes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a cool mix of both worlds where we get to have a cool wrestling name, but also talk.
That's
You know?
that's actually pretty amazing. Well, was there like a top three in those names, or was it just, like, okay, let's go with Farouk?
Yeah, we are actually going to be named Gauze at first,
Oh, okay, damn.
like medical gauze, you know? And we were all cool with that name, but we found out that there's like a Japanese grindcore band name or punk band or something by that name.
Yeah.
So we decided to change it before we played our first show. And then we wanted the Sharpshooter was one of them.
Oh, that would have been great.
I think what was the other one we were thinking of? DDT. We're going for moves, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay,
So we were thinking of a bunch of different moves. And actually we're gonna be called Crossface at one point.
yeah.
And
I know how that happened,
yeah,
or what
but
happened.
Crossface ended up being a name of a band from around out here in California in the Bay Area.
Oh, nice.
So we were like, okay, well, can't do that, you know? So it ended up being FAROOQ, which is cool because who doesn't love Ron Simmons?
I know. I honestly really want him to go to one of your shows, and after, eh, eh, dude, picture this: you guys are playing the last song, and Farouk is jamming and stuff, and after the last song is over and everybody stops cheering, he goes up on the mic and just like, "Damn!"
There would be no other way to punctuate, you know?
Yeah, dude, I think that would
So
be freaking amazing.
we've had a few people do that when they intro us and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but not the original, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. We need to set something up where we can get you guys together with Farouk.
That would be so cool. We
Yeah.
actually were on tour one time and we wanted to go visit um Kama. Why do I call him Kama? He went by so many other names. The Godfather.
Oh, nice. That's dope.
He has a gentleman's club in Las Vegas.
Oh shit. Is it
And
on
he
the
was on a
strip or what?
podcast once. I remember him being interviewed once and he said like, if you're ever in Vegas and you're one of my fans, send me an email and I'll come have a drink with you at my club. Come to my club, you know? And there's a few times we were in Vegas where I was trying to set that up, but the scheduling is so tight on some of these tours that we weren't able to make it happen.
Dude, I'm going to Vegas. I should get that email and fucking go have
Yeah,
a drink with the Godfather.
he has a gentleman's club called Cheetahs out there,
Oh snap.
and it's not a place that I would particularly kick it, but I'm pretty sure I kick it just about anywhere to talk with the Godfather, shake his
Oh,
hand, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Like I'm not into strip clubs either, but
Yeah,
to just say like, oh, look, it's a picture of me and the Godfather.
yeah,
Oh, or I don't know. I,
yeah.
I don't know the signature of the Godfather, so I kind of feel like I sounded like somebody else right now.
Just walk in there doing this.
I know, right? Like, oh yeah, I'll get a cigar. Like, yeah, yeah. That's fucking dope. But that's so cool, man. Like how you were able to integrate like wrestling and music together.
Yeah, that's well, it was us. Anything that I do creatively, if my name and face are going to be on it, I'd want it to be a reflection of myself. We're not out here faking the funk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Like honestly, I what I love about your music, and if everybody else listens to his music, like don't listen to it on shuffle, but rather listen to it just like as the songs are put out. But like I love that you sometimes just go on the mic and kind of cut a promo or something like hey yo, this is fucking Farouk or whatever, like we're about
Yeah,
to throw it down, and then just like dun, like that's amazing, dude. Like I really really enjoyed that aspect of your music.
I appreciate that, man. It's interesting that you actually tell people listen to it in order. Nobody's ever said that or done that or noticed that. That kind of touch, kind of hit me in my heart. Like that's cool, man. Because
Yeah, dude. Like I mean, it could be a concept album or it could not be a concept album. But honestly, if you want to get the real, like the real story or just like a better feeling of the music, it's better to listen to it in order. But I also love that you guys just never like you guys don't go from like sounding like a punk rock band to sounding like a pop rock band. Like you guys just kind of go out there and just like you guys literally just play music for moshers.
it seems that way, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, so like when I was listening to the last album, to the latest album, I was just like, fuck, like my neck hurts already. I've been headbanging too much.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, we are very intentional when we put out albums about the order the songs go in. And that's a thing. That's a part of our process when we have our demos is we start experimenting, listening to it in certain orders. So it's cool that you noticed that, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the first time I've ever noticed that. And it was with you guys, so it was kind of like, what the heck? Like, I guess maybe Mike put so much pressure on me that instead of just listening to your music, I kind of studied your music too.
I appreciate
So,
that, man.
so
Yeah.
you gotta big shout out to Mike Nago. Check out his
Yeah.
store on eBay and Amazon. Fuck
He
it.
does everything, doesn't he?
Hell
He's a good
yeah.
dude.
And who inspired you to pick up the microphone and start writing lyrics and all that good stuff?
Um, that's a good question. I for hardcore, it was probably I'd give the most credit to Freddie Madball from Madball.
Oh, okay, nice.
Um, that band was like a big influence of mine early on. But I was an MC first. Me and my drummer, when we were in junior high and high school, we were rapping. We used to freestyle and make rap songs.
Oh, snap.
So before I even went to a hardcore show or anything, I was rapping, I was freestyling, I was battling in high school, you know?
Yeah, that's
And
that's
some of the dudes that I used to rap with, like freestyle with, were in a local hardcore band.
yeah.
And they just so happened to like hip hop too. So they invited us out to one of their shows and me and Eric went and that really tripped us out. Well, the song on Heat called "The Story" is like a short version of how me and him got into hardcore. That's real life. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, so I was rapping first and listening to, DMX and Soulja Slim and, Busta Rhymes and E40, Tupac, all
Yeah.
that. I wanted to be MC first. And then I started playing in bands, but I was playing bass or drumming or doing something else.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw a VHS called Release. Have you seen that? It's old. It's
Nah,
like
I honestly never paid attention to like music channels.
it was a video. I think it was like a DVD and VHS, but it was like a mini documentary on like Warp Tour and the beginning of Warp Tour. I think
Oh, nice.
so long ago. I think that's what it was about. But they had interviews with some of the early bands before they blew up. So you see interviews with Blink 182 and Green Day and these type of bands that are now like legends,
Yeah,
And there's a short little snippet of Madball
nice.
at a show, and he's up there. Freddie's up there speaking Spanish to the crowd,
Oh,
and the crowd's talking back to him. And then they start playing "Set It Off." And I remember when they started playing the song, like seeing the crowd react, seeing him up there doing his thing, I was like, oh, like I want to do that. I want to live what he's doing right now. It was like when you watch Michael Jordan dunk, or you watch, you watch Booker T do the spinneroonie, you know what I mean? You watch Eddie Guerrero do the frog splash, and you fantasize like, I want to be that, you know?
Yeah, and even
When
when
I
you're drunk and stuff, you're like over here like, oh yeah,
yeah,
like viva la raza. Or,
when I saw him up there being his true self and repping his people, it made me want to do that. Because I mean, as a youngster, being a Chicano growing up here, like I was told by some people, like that's white boy shit. You can't do that metal stuff.
oh, that's true.
That's
Yeah,
that headbanger devil music. Like that's not for you, you know. And
yeah,
then I saw Madball up there speaking Spanish, and I was like, it's not just white boy shit, you know. This is proof, you know.
yeah. My grandma
And
used to
so
get mad at me for like listening to metal and stuff, and then I
yeah,
showed her bands like Skillet. Like obviously she doesn't understand it, and I showed her POD, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh, like I would like go to a Google Translator and I would like, like the song Alive by POD, like I would translate it into Spanish and I would read her the lyrics in Spanish so that she can understand like, oh, it's not all just devil and, like,
yeah,
sell your soul type stuff.
yeah. Well, and you know, Madball's not even a metal band; they're a hardcore band. But like,
Yeah.
that's my roots. That's where I came from, you know.
Oh yeah, that's freaking awesome, dude.
So I got to credit Freddie Madball, which I got to like meet him a couple of times and talk to him about how he influenced me, which is tight.
Yeah, and honestly, a fun fact with Blink 182, because you mentioned them earlier, uh, like they were gonna name their name was Blink, and I think there was somebody else caught that already. And the record label was like putting so much pressure on them, uh, and they needed to, add something else after that Blink. And I think the guy Wade, who's the singer? Is
I was never into the band, man.
or one of the guys? Uh,
There's one's named Tom.
yeah, I think it was the drummer. He was like, "Why we 182 pounds?" So it's yeah, Blink 182. So
Is that what it was?
yeah, it's a little something like that. Like I'm not
That's
too
funny.
too aware of something like that, but it has to do something with that. But yeah, that's a little fun fact, even though I incorrectly said it.
We
Bell,
tried.
Bell. And the "You Got Me" song, like it was so good. And can you tell me a little bit about that song?
Yeah, it's a love song, you know. That's off of the Faction, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was dope, dude. Like,
So our guitarist Phil wrote, I'm pretty sure he wrote most of that song by himself, which he'll do because he's amazing like that. Usually my drummer, him and myself will write songs or write pieces of songs and put them together. I think that may be one that either Phil and Eric did or Phil did by himself, but I remember him sending me the instrumental and it reminded me of the Kinks song, you know?
yeah,
So like there's a part in there where I kind of like interpolate the lyrics from that Kinks song, and I always thought it was dope. Like, and so all I had when I started writing the lyrics to that song was that part that reminded me of that song.
oh,
And so I'm
okay,
like, well, I got to figure out how to make this make sense, you know?
yeah,
So I made it a love song, but I made the love song about hardcore music,
yeah, of course,
but I wrote it like it was a love song to a person.
yeah, yeah. It had a lot of that too, and I was kind of like thinking like, is it a love song or is this like,
It is, but
you know?
it's not for a person in particular, but it can be. And I always try to draw parallels
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
tell multiple messages. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's actually pretty cool because like some people just love life and they go listen to that song and it's like, fuck yeah, I love life.
Yeah. Well, it's about music, you know,
Yeah,
but
it's
you could feel that way about a person too, you know?
yeah. Honestly, when I heard it, I was like, man, I belong here. Like this is what I gotta be doing. Like for some reason I always try to look for signs in the universe, kinda like, am I doing the right thing? Like
Me too. Yeah, that's real.
yeah, yeah, dude. I'm just like, fuck, like I spent $100 last week in San Antonio with, seeing this band, but I'm broke now, so am I supposed to be here?
Yeah. What's it all for? You know?
Yeah.
I'm
But
so happy that some of our music could make you feel that way, man. That's like a big point of why we do this.
yeah, dude, like honestly, I've even talking to you right now, I feel like I'm becoming an even bigger fan.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. And that's freaking cool. And I also wanted to talk about the DJ stuff, the DJ track you have there, dude, because I died laughing.
The interlude on the faction,
Yes, dude, like holy dude, you killed me. It felt
dude.
like
You're
it
so
felt
happy.
like Stone Cold with Jim Johnston in one of those albums. I think it was like, was it Thematic, or
I don't know.
it was like when Stone Cold's like, "Where's my beer?" What, you didn't order any beer? I said clearly that to have beer. And then like
I need to listen to that.
at the end of the freaking CD, like Stone Cold just knocks out Jim Johnson, like that's what you get or something like that. Like, of course, obviously it was all just like promo and fake and all
Right.
that stuff, but like that literally gave me like that type of vibe. So
I'm stoked on that, dude. Again, you're pulling out stuff that most people sleep on. Like I appreciate this that you would look into what we do so deeply because a lot of interviewers or anybody we'd meet would be like no insult to them, but they're very blanket. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I mean I get it because if people are getting their intro to us, you don't want to deep dive yet. You know what I mean?
that's
But
true.
I feel like anybody involved with what you're doing may have heard of us already, or it's I don't know. This is fun, and I just want to tell you I appreciate it, man. So
Yeah,
that track was a concept of mine that I worked out with a really good friend of mine. He's like a mentor, a big brother to me. His name's Danny Salas, and he's a local radio DJ here. And he's to me like a local legend. He's a celebrity. I grew up as a teen listening to his college radio station shows. And then when I grew up and became an adult, him and his adult, he was a DJ and running radio shows that I was listening to as a young man. You know what I
nice.
mean? So like we ended up meeting later on in life, and like I was always a fan of like the shows he did, and he played a lot of old West Coast rap and hip hop and stuff. He has a show called Ruthless Radio.
Oh, was that him on the track?
Yeah, that's him. And
Oh,
so we
okay.
wrote that together. So he's a legitimate radio host,
Oh, that's dope.
and he'll usually intro us and host our album kickoff shows or our tour kickoff shows.
Yeah,
Like he's that guy. He's a huge wrestling fan,
yeah,
and he actually got us booked on our first gig, which was a local pro wrestling event at a gymnasium here.
that's freaking
But
dope,
like,
dude.
yeah, so like he's been a part of our band. Like I always call him like, do you remember when the NWO first started or DX first started and Million
Yeah,
Dollar Man was there?
yeah,
He wasn't really doing a ton, but he was like that guy that would just like the OG that would just sitting there like, yeah, that's what's up.
yeah.
Like
And
the advisor, that's
and
like him to us.
and to me, it kind of feels like he's a DJ Lethal to your FAROOQ.
Yeah, he's been a part of every record we've done. He's
Yeah,
listened to it beforehand, giving me feedback. He's uh been on the skits, you know what I mean? He's a great dude, man. We love working with him.
yeah, dude. He's like your DJ Lethal to your FAROOQ. So, like, that's freaking cool, dude. Because when I heard it, I was like, "Yo, is that freaking Daniel?" Like,
That's not me.
yeah, that's freaking cool. Because I mean, like earlier, you said that you rapped and stuff back in the day. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, maybe that was Daniel on the freaking thing."
I did make the beat for that. The beat
Yeah,
that's playing in the background, I made that.
that's crazy, dude. Like, I'm so excited for what the future brings.
Oh, yeah, I always try to involve him. Like it's one of those deals where I'll just hit him up like, "Yo, like I have this going. How do you want to be involved?" And he's usually like, "Whatever you want to do, man," and we'll cook up some kind of idea. He's done guest vocals on a couple of songs live for us.
Oh, okay.
He's in our music video for Write Up.
Oh, I gotta check it out. I hardly watch music videos, dude. Like,
Yeah,
my
that
friend always gets mad, like, "Oh, why don't you watch this music video?" I'm like, "Why? I can just fucking like listen to that song on Spotify or Apple Music."
yeah. So I mean, music videos aren't for everybody. You know what I mean? Like if the music is your focus, then what do you need a music video for?
Yeah, I
You know
know.
what I mean? But he's like the tall man in a suit in that video.
I'm gonna have to really go check that one out
Dude, you
because
should. He does a great job. Everybody in that video does a great job.
yeah, I need to see what this guy looks like now because It seems like he's a very important part in the Farouk the FAROOQ crew.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, he very much is.
That's awesome, dude. And uh, will you guys be possibly releasing a new album this year, sometime next year?
Um, I am not. I don't have the authority right now to
Oh,
say dates, but
Dave.
what I can say is Keith from Glacier Recordings has is always hitting me up. Like that's my homie. That's our brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and I let him know, hey, we're writing an album, so whenever you're ready, you know what I mean? It's there. Um, they Glacier just put out the Foes record earlier this year.
Oh,
Um, I don't know if you've heard that, but oh my gosh, American Violence. That band's just been dope. We've known them for years, and I'm so glad that Glacier Recordings signed them because they're like our brother band now, like
yeah.
officially, because of the label. But Keith has hit me up and said, "Hey, I'm ready for songs from you guys. Let's start doing stuff." So I can't give a date on an album, but I do know that we have songs written.
Uh,
There are demo versions of them that I can't share, and we're in the process of selecting songs to release as singles and starting to get the ball moving on recording them. So there is new stuff. It exists, but it's like it's fetal right now. You know what I mean?
well, I'm glad I came in when I did because I don't have to wait so long because I have three albums that I could go back and listen to, and
Yup.
it's not like one album and like hurry the hell up and release something.
Yeah. And that was what Keith said is like, dude, you guys have plenty of albums. Let's get a single out whenever you want, like whenever you're ready. So we got something cooking up. I'm excited. The three songs I nominated, I'm just like over the moon in love with. So it's kind of got to go across its steps now. The rest of the guys have to put their input. They're very important.
Oh yeah,
And Keith has to give the blessing to one of the songs to get that single out first.
we're ready, man. I'm ready.
I'm stoked. I'm ready, man.
And you sent me a message, and I did check out that one band that you sent me. I don't remember the name, but I think you told me that you're starting to work with newer bands.
Are you talking about JD Garza?
There you go. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, I've been producing music since before FAROOQ started.
Oh,
But I was doing rap. I was producing rap. I was recording, co-writing, making beats for local rappers. My cousins J Dub and Rob D. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so I'd been doing music production and helping people write songs. And we met JD at a show, and he opens up a lot of our shows now. And
Also,
he
you guys mixing hip hop with rock.
well, that's what I was doing beforehand. But
Oh,
then I met JD. He's an indie singer songwriter,
that's freaking
and
dope.
he sent me songs, and I said, well, I really want to produce for you. So I helped him co-write and produce an indie rock like record. He's more of like a folk indie guy, so there's not really any hip hop in this at all.
Oh, okay.
But like I write songs, and it doesn't matter the genre.
That,
So he wrote these songs, and I like co-wrote, helped him write the instrumental parts because he's just guitar and singing, an amazing singing voice and great guitar player. So I, with the help of actually a lot of the guys in FAROOQ, um, put together this EP with him. And so our bass player plays drums on it, and our guitar player Philip plays bass on the record
mm,
and helped me write the parts. So I wrote organ and string parts and bass parts and all that. And so this definitely doesn't sound like anything else I've ever made, but I produced it. So executive producer is my title on this EP that's coming out
that's freaking
for
awesome, man. And
on Captain Recordings.
I would like to get him on here too one day.
Oh yeah. His EP actually was submitted and will be out. I'm looking at my calendar up here. November 10th.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd love to help you get him on. He's just a pleasure to work with, an amazing human, and a crazy talented artist.
That's crazy, man. I'm excited, and I'm excited for what you and Farouk having the future, and you know, uh, like I've been kind of like slipping with the whole hitting people up and stuff, but I guess now that I have a bigger platform and Spotify and Apple Podcasts will have my interviews. Like I just kind of want to release new content every week, sometimes
That's
twice or
awesome.
3 times a week. So I'm ready. I'm ready to work with you and anybody.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, dude, what you're doing is not easy.
It's
It's very
not.
difficult. And so like please give yourself credit. You know what I mean? You say you've been lagging and all that, but what you do isn't easy. This isn't, if anybody could do it, everybody would do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So cut yourself some slack, man, because like the fact that you're doing this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Thanks, man. Thanks for that. And would you like to tell your fans anything right now? Like you have the floor to let them know anything out there.
man, get all of you, give yourself credit. Be nice to yourselves. Like times are tough for everybody and for different things. Make sure you're kind and understanding to each other. You know what I mean? Kind to yourself, and understand that no matter what's going on in this society around us, like we're pieces of a puzzle. You know what I mean? And the system around you is nothing without you. Don't let it rule you. You need to rule it. You know what I mean? So keep your head on a swivel for the punk police. Fuck Donald Trump.
Oh shit.
You know, make sure you make your mama proud.
There you go. And lastly, if you were stuck in an elevator with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you talk about?
Whoa! Oh, can I get a few different takes of this one? That's quite a question, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's
dude, what? Okay, since you said dead or alive, I can't pick somebody alive because this is
or you know what? Let's just do this. You pick one dead and one alive. Like it's okay.
okay. Um, one dead. I'd have to go Michael Jackson
Oh, nice. Oh yeah.
because he's a singer, musician, all that, but he was also an icon. Like
Yeah.
this guy, there's no, to me, I get it. Like different generations are gonna have different people, but to me, there's nobody that's ever reached or surpassed his status. He's he's like your Hulk Hogan's, you know what I mean, or your Antonio Inoki's. There's nobody that ever did what he did when he did it, and no matter how famous they get, they owe a lot of it to him.
Yeah, definitely.
Like so, dead definitely Michael Jackson. He's also like a brilliant songwriter and producer himself,
Yeah.
but he's such a good singer that people don't even realize that. You know what I mean? That he was just this wild musician and businessman too. So it's got to be him.
He's like the
And
goat.
then,
He's like the first goat ever.
uh, yeah, well, for my generation, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure if we talk to my parents' generation, they'd say somebody else, and I disagree with them and have to fight them to the death. You know,
Oh no.
somebody's gonna say somebody from the Beatles. I don't give a damn about the Beatles.
Oh yeah, they're good, but I mean they're good. Please don't hang.
Yeah, no, I get it, but no, it's MJ for me. And then alive, I'd probably say Timbaland, the
Oh no.
producer, because again, like, well, he was a big inspiration of mine. Eric, our drummer, he got a lot of his influence from him. We
That's
used to listen to his albums when we were kids, like in junior high and stuff. So like he's brilliant. Yeah.
that's freaking dope. And honestly, that's cool that you didn't really like usually I get rock answers, but you just went pop and Timberland is kind of like more of a songwriter and like R&B singer, right? Or
Yeah. Well, he's done everything. You
yeah,
know, he's done the Nelly Furtado, Justin Timberlake stuff. You know what I mean? But he's also worked with Twista and Ludacris. Like the first times I heard Twista and Ludacris were on Timbaland albums.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the late '90s, he was the first one that I heard those guys on those records.
Huh.
Ludacris has a song with Timbaland that came out in like 1998 called "Fat Rabbit." It's still like one of the hottest songs I've ever heard.
Nice.
It's nasty for all you cochinos out there and cochinas, but like, yo, that song could still hold up today.
That's fucking great. Um, but that's freaking awesome, dude. Like, hell yeah. And where can we find you? Social media and everything. And also, if you want to promote your store so you can sell more T-shirts and all that good stuff.
Oh, thank you, man. You could find FAROOQ on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at FAROOQ Mosh. That's FAROOQMOSH. Probably also on YouTube. Like, I think you should just Google it, and there's a bunch of stuff. But it's FAROOQ, like you see back here, spelled.
FAROOQ.
Yeah, and then Mosh afterwards. Um, of course, because you said what'd you say? Our music is geared towards the moshers.
Oh yeah, dude.
Such a good observation, man. I appreciate that. Um, glacierrecordings.com also has anything you need merchandise wise, albums, informationally. So that's our label's website. And yo, I probably wouldn't be here as I am without them, because they've really helped us stay alive as a band and get to the next level. So shout out to my brother Keith out there at Glacier. So Glacier Recordings is the shop that has the store. I think I don't know what they're selling right now, but I know at some point they had socks, they had hoodies, they got t-shirts, hats. Our latest album in a CD form if you need a disc. So that's Glacier. And then you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at VXDEDXV or The Rockman. I'm doing so much, dude. This is an interview for FAROOQ, but I got so much going. I'm glad that I get to talk FAROOQ stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
I do a lot of music, but the FAROOQ stuff is the most rewarding. It grows. It's therapy, man. The guys in the band are my best friends, my brothers, and the music we make is not to be selfish, but it's kind of for us.
Yeah.
Like we make these songs to impress each other. We write these riffs, like me and Phil write guitar riffs, Eric too, and we're just trying to write stuff to impress each other. Like, hey man, what do you think about this? I wrote this one for you. Like, I know you like this. This is my Daniel. Phil tells me all the time, this is my Daniel riff. Or he'd be like, yo, that's a cool song you put together. I'm like, I'm just trying to sound like you, man. Like we're all fans of each other. You know what I mean?
I have an idea. Like, yes, the interview's over, but fuck it, we can go on forever.
Facts.
What you guys should do is like maybe like have a song, but like maybe have each other like go one on one against each other, and like have the guitars versus the bass, and then the drums versus the singer, and then just kind of like I don't know, it'll be kind of like a versus thing, and like it'll be like the bass player is like freaking like doing some weird ass fucking sounds, and then the guitarist is like over here trying to outdo him, and
Like
then
a
you're
duel.
just over here like freaking screaming and yelling and falling apart, and then the freaking drummers are like pa 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 pa. Like I don't know, that just seems like something you guys could probably freaking like do. I think it'll be freaking cool in my opinion.
That might be something we'd be able to pull off, like a duel type song. I love concept songs. I love telling stories. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, you told so much stories in the three albums that I heard, and that like that's why I came in so like ready, because I was like, fuck man, like I'm not gonna ask him about every song because I could be in here forever, but
I'm with it.
check him out, guys. Um, New music coming soon. Wink, wink. Um,
Yeah,
and don't forget to buy all the merch that he has so he could come down here to South Texas.
dude. Yes, I can't wait to get to Texas, see my family, see my homies in the valley and in Reinforce. Those are my Texas homie bands out there.
Oh yeah. I remember
The
everybody that without music, life would be a mistake.